There have been many, many people who played with Kildare and have worn the white jersey with great distinction and have come away with nothing. And I think today, all these people are honoured, and we have won this today in honour of those men.
It feels great. As good as any success I've had, and I've had some marvellous successes with Kerry. I've had them with my club and I've had them with divisional teams, but I think this would stand out with any of them I've had.
Why so?
Well, I suppose, you see, the majority of the people and all the scribes are saying that I wasn't capable of training a team. A lot of them said that because I won All Irelands in Kerry because I had the players, no doubt. They were an exceptional bunch of men. We'll never again see the likeness of them. And I was thrilled to be around when they arrived. And I suppose there's a lot of truth in what people say. But I think we resurrected this Kildare team in 1990. We brought in a number of young fellas, the Glen Ryans and the Rainbows and the Buckleys and the Fenns, and they were all out there today. I brought those guys in 90, and it's 98. It took us 8 years. I took a sabbatical for 2 years, 95 and 96. I knew this team was ready, and that's why I came back.
We waited at one stage 16 years, back some long time ago, to win in Leinster. Now they waited, you know, nearly 46, but it's not 46 years. They waited an awful long time. In fact, I was here in 56 when they won it. And the way they played out there today, they played like champions out there today. And that's an incredible tribute to them. It's a tribute to themselves. It's a tribute to Miko and what he's helped to do with them and his team with them. It's a marvellous occasion for them.
It's hard to put into words after such a long wait for the county and for such a long wait for a lot of the fellas who were on the panel for the last number of years, and we've come close before, and coming up today we thought we had the best chance we've had in a long time, and it's brilliant now that we took that chance.
Brendan sending off and Trevor being injured at that stage, it all happened so close together. But even with all of that, the lads battled so well, and with a minute to go in normal time, we were level, and then Kildare got a goal, and but so often in the past we've got the goal. So that's the way football goes, and even with that we still tried to come back, but we weren't good enough on the day.
Brian, tell me a little bit about the goal that effectively won the Leinster final.
Basically, from what I can recall, there was a long ball played into the corner to Martin Lynch, and luckily 2 guys went away and gave me plenty space, which the lads will be always saying to me, you need plenty space, so he gave the perfect ball across, to be truthful. And from what I can recall, I just put it in the back of the net.
The All-Ireland semi-final reunites you with some old friends.
Well, something I'm not looking forward to. Number one, I'm a Kerry man. A Kerry man I'll be forever. But I suppose my allegiance at the moment is to Kildare. So one I'm not looking forward to, but sure, I suppose that's part and parcel of life. We'll have to get on with the job now.
And can you make it to the final?
Well, that will depend. Kerry are All-Ireland champions. And Kerry, when they come to Croke Park, they're a fair proposition for any team to beat. But we're quite happy. We've done what we wanted to do. We wanted to win a Leinster title for Kildare. We've done that. And anything that will come now will be a bonus.
Well, yes, indeed. A famous victory for Kildare, then. Isn't it amazing how just one afternoon can wipe away the years of heartbreak and frustration? Colm Rourke obviously disappointed that Meath lost today, but nonetheless, I'm sure you have nothing but praise for this Kildare victory.
Well, indeed, Michael, it would be very unsporting and indeed ungracious of me as a Meath man not to compliment Kildare, because I've been fairly critical of them in the past. But on a day like this, I think all the nice things that anyone could say about Kildare are indeed true. They were fantastic today. They played with great heart and great spirit, and they played with composure. And they kept going right to the end, because it looked as if one time they were going to leave it behind them again. And you know, in a way, I'm very glad, because there's a lot of great Kildare players that I wouldn't like to see going without a Leinster Championship. Men like Glen Ryan, who's a great captain, and also a fantastic day for Mick O'Dwyer. Great achievement for him. I suppose in Kildare terms, he's an overnight success after 8 years, trying hard. But it's a fantastic achievement for them. And I don't think there's any Meathman would begrudge them their great day.
It's a victory that has been carved not just today against Meath, but also taking other big names, obviously, in Leinster this year, Dublin included. So it's been a real championship win. You were impressed with the way they defended this game today, as well as everything else.
Yeah, so I thought that the strong point of their team, really, for the whole year and for many years, has been their defence. They have covered very well, they have tackled very well. And here we had the day William McCreary tracking back, taking the ball off Hank Traynor, and they always got the ball out to somebody who was loose. But their blocking down of the ball was superb, and it started in the middle of the field. Here we have short pass to Graham Garty, trying to get in the ball that Meath sort of depend on the quick ball in. Declan Kerrigan putting in a great block. Then we have Niall Buckley getting down on Nigel Nestor there with John Finn to help out. And then the second half, Raymond McGee coming in and looking very dangerous. John Finn, again, making a fantastic block. The sort of thing that you don't see that much of in football anymore, and something that's maybe not coached enough. But whoever was doing it, I presume it was Mick who was doing with Kildare, they did a superb job on that lost art maybe of tackling and blocking down kicks.
And yet, for all of the good things that Kildare did this afternoon, and they did loads of good things, right at the end of the match, Meath were back there on top of them, despite their problems, despite Giles going off and being a man down and so forth.
Yeah, well, when Trevor Giles went off after Brendan Riley being sent off, I said, well, that's it anyway. But Meath, one thing to have is plenty of heart, and I think inspired by John McDermott, and that would be the proper word, he dragged them back into this game, and we had a couple of great points here by Tommy Dowd kicking a point. A mass Kildare defence, you can see there. There was no chance of getting through for a goal. Again, Tommy to Jody Devine, who had come on. And with a minute to go, as Sean said there in his interview, Meath were back level at 10 points each. And I thought at that stage, you know, if I was hoping that it was nearly the 70th minute of the game and that the referee could blow it up, because it had been an enthralling contest, particularly those last very tense 10 minutes. And I was saying it would be a pity for anyone to lose at this stage. But like, fair play to Kildare, you know, when the gun was really put to their head, and it was put to their head in a really big way, they found the answers.
Well, this is the thing, I suppose, that they themselves will take the most satisfaction out of. That in other big games like this in the past, those last crucial few minutes, they'd get the jigs. But today, in actual fact, they stayed composed. I mean, the way they took the goal was sheer composure.
Yes, and another sign of their composure was when Meath got points, Christy Byrne kicking out of the ball was superb. He didn't mess any of them up, but his kick out to Dermot Early down into the corner, Martin Lynch making a great run, and a fantastic pass across to Brian Murphy. Donald Curtis just caught a couple of yards, and Brian Murphy buries it in the net. And after that, then, it was one-way traffic. Enda McManus coming out, a bad ball out, intercepted by William McCreary, and at that stage, confidence was high with Kildare, sticks straight over the bar. So in the space of those couple of minutes, and I suppose Carl Dwyer doing what he is really excellent at, is those foot passes, which maybe Kildare lacked in the past, into Eddie McCormack, who had missed a few earlier, but now confidence high, sticks straight over the bar.
Well, I suppose with screen connections, what else would a player like that do? Tony Davis, obviously you were impressed with this Kildare victory as well.
I was delighted to see Kildare win. I don't think anyone can begrudge them. I think they were the best team on the day, even though with a couple of minutes ago they were level. I always felt they had the upper hand. And I was amazed a while ago to hear Mick O'Dwyer saying that he was still trying to justify himself. I think all he has to do is open any history book and he doesn't have to justify himself anymore. But he's done very well with Kildare. I think how personal can you get than having your son bringing him into the setup? He must have had real belief in them, bringing Carl in there. And Carl made a huge difference. He got 2 good points from play. And as Colm said, he has some great 30-40 yard passes into the full forward line. He contrasts very well with the rest of the forward line. And he, as well as that, he had Brian Murphy in there, and Brian popped up at the end of the day to finish it off for Kildare. I think he's left no stone unturned, and all his hard work is certainly justified, and everyone would definitely congratulate Kildare.
Yeah, and that little bit of a lilt of a Cork accent as well, describing the crucial goal.
Well, I suppose we're thankful to get Larry from Kildare down the years, and we can pay back some of that debt
And
by
Shay,
giving them ground today. And Shay. Well, maybe there's another Cork fella we could give him. Maybe we could give him more than one at the moment back to Kildare. But it pays back some of the debt that we owe them for giving us Shay and Larry down the years. And we're very thankful for that.
Colm, let's talk a little bit about Meath just for the moment. 2 years ago, we're All-Ireland champions, lost the Leinster final last year, Leinster final this year. Do you think a couple of the players that we've seen today we might not see again in a Meath jersey?
Well, most of this Meath team is very young, and I'm quite sure that they will be back again. Brendan Riley has been around a long time, and Tommy Dowd. Maybe they might feel that it's time to get out. But there are very few of the rest of the team. I think that's a young Meath side. It's a good Meath team. They were beaten by a very, very good Kildare side today, and they stopped Meath scoring. Meath weren't able to get the easy points that they normally get in a game. I think with a couple of minutes to go, Meath original 6 forwards, only one of them had scored from play, which showed the quality of the Kildare defending. So in a normal game, I think Meath would have won, but I think we had a fantastic performance by Kildare. But Meath will be back, I suppose.
Will they be back with Sean Boylan?
Well, I don't know. Sean, I think that Sean will never give up managing the Meath team, and I would hope that he doesn't.
All right, Tony Davis, the future for Kildare now in this championship this year. Miko obviously has a problem with the next game, but can they go on to the All-Ireland?
I think of all the provincial finals we've seen so far, I think Kildare have been the most impressive and they played the best football. I think they were in the most pressure situation as well because it was very intense out there and exciting there, and they came through. So they can look forward with hope. Certainly Kerry coming through in Munster, they'll be a hard one to beat, and of course Miko will know them very well. And as well as that, I'm sure a lot of those young Kerry players will have grown up with hearing all about Miko down the years, so they might be intimidated a little. But we'll wait and see. I think it's going to be a very close game, but Kildare certainly can go forward with hope.
Well, Kildare certainly have plenty to be going on with for this particular Sunday night. Colin O'Rourke, your man of the match.
Well, today, most of the good performances were on the Kildare side. I suppose the outstanding personality on the Meath team was John McDermott, who had an absolutely fantastic match all through the game, and I thought he helped more than anyone else bring Meath back into it. But we had outstanding performances from Kildare, from the likes of Brian Lacey. I thought the two midfielders did very well, Niall Buckley and William McCreary. Martin Lynch, who I've been very critical of in the past, won a huge amount of ball inside. But the one man for me who stood out today when he was really needed was Dermot Earley. And some of his catching and he did a huge amount of work up and down the field. He was involved in most of good Kildare play. There he is intercepting a pass back in defence, and his feeling of the ball gives Kildare a great extra option around the middle of the field. And it's all right catching it, but when he comes down with head two, he's able to lay it off. And more crucially, I think, than anything else, he made a couple of vital catches from Christy Byrne kickouts after Meath score. This one here in particular was the one that led to the goal, and it was after Meath coming level. And I suppose fair play to Christy Byrne. He remembered what they had been doing in training, puts the ball down into the corner, and of course that ball ends up in the Meath net. So it just showed, I suppose, the sort of discipline and the clarity of thought that was in the Kildare team, that when the pressure was at its most intense, Christy Byrne held his head and knew where he was to kick the ball to, something they were working on very well, and Dermot Earley knew where he was to put it as well.
So then, every congratulations to our man of the match winner. Now, obviously, on this particular weekend, that Leinster medal is all that's important, but we hope that our watch presentation will act as an added bonus at the end of a perfect day. OK, at this point, we'll take a commercial break. Coming up.